Hello there, and welcome to Daniel's Infinite Playlist, and welcome to the classic album review section where we basically take a look back on albums that have been released in the past. And today we're going to check on one of my absolute favorite albums of all time, and it was a really meaningful album for me, especially in my high school years, where there was a lot of trying to discover myself, and that is, of course, Wild Beast's debut album Limbo Panto, which was released in 2008. And for those of you who don't know who Wild Beasts are, Wild Beasts are a quartet from Kendal in the UK, and they've been made themselves known for having a really arty sort of take on art rock, especially with the aid of Hayden Thorpe's famous falsetto and Tom Fleming's exquisite baritone voice, and they both complement each other really well. And they've gone from making sort of like rocky cabaret rock to more and more electronic productions, but this is where it all started. So yeah, how is it to listen to this album? Well, it's a bit like this. Alright, I'm going to show you the CD unboxing. Here it is, and there's the album cover. I think the album cover strikes a sort of ancient mystery. I don't know why, especially like with the name, and then you see the band members here. There's Hayden Thorpe, and well, I don't know I don't know who of the others are because it's so blurry. Anyways, here's the behind. It's very minimalistic. Here you see the booklet with a ton of thanks, which I really found very funny, especially you, which says, they divided persons in different categories, especially you, with love, to all our pretty and handsome friends in no particular order. It's kind of cute. And if you open the booklet, here it is. It's paired with images and, like the lyrics. It's very nice. It's very, how do you say, it's very raw, but at the same time very dark and minimalistic, which kind of hints at what the album is inside without letting in too much of it in. Alright, how is this album musically? Well, musically, as I said, this album is very much a sort of indie rock record. However, it's not like the typical indie rock fare. This is an indie rock record that takes cues from cabaret music, art rock, even musicals in some sort of way, and it's all just cooked down in this very dramatic and increasingly and also very rhythmic experience, and it's just so delightfully produced that it uses all of these elements into such a good effect. And the chamber, and it's also very baroque in its way, but not too much. So yeah, how is this album lyrically? Well, lyrically, this album is, and thematically as well, this album touches upon masculinity and the male psyche. And I feel like there are not so many indie rock bands in general that explore, how do you say, the male psyche in the way that Wild Beasts have done. And it's just so they look at it in a very, how do you say, not in a sort of dissenting manner, but in a sort of in a way that is quite humoristic. It pokes fun at like the stupid things that men do, but also kind of sees it with a sort of light of feeling, like we've all been there before and we've all felt like this. For example, like the loss of innocence in the club of fathomless love, or like the sense of camaraderie on Woebegone Wanderers, or Lust and Desire on The Devil's Crayon, or Vigil for a Fuddy Duddy, which takes a look at these in such a beautiful and literary way, and they mix in with a sort of raw humor that makes it all look so beautiful. And if you need to learn a bit more of the English language, then I suggest that you take a look at the Wild Beasts lyrics, because they're all very literary and beautiful, and they use a lot of beautiful analogies. It's kind of like Shakespeare, but you know, like in music form, and I really like that. And that's what I always loved about Wild Beast music, is that they besides making amazing music, you also learn a lot from them, like a lot of good words. All right, what do I give this album? Well, I give it a 9 out of 10. It is an exuberant, beautiful, youthful debut album that actually still stands as a very unique rock album. And it's still the only album that sounded like this in Wild Beast's catalog. Or well, I mean, they explored this sound a little bit more on Two Dancers, but here you see kind of like the raw amalgamation of that, and it's just so beautiful to listen to. And it's an album that actually grows with each and every listen of it. At first, when I listened to it, I actually didn't like it. I liked a few of the songs, but then I just sort of discovered, you know, like the narratives that this album does, and also the stories, and you know, like the way they explore all of these stupid and conscious things that men do, and they do it in such a fun, exuberant way that just feels amazing. And Tom Fleming and Hayden Thorpe just complement each other so beautifully, you know, like with Hayden's falsetto and Tom Fleming's just beautiful baritone. It feels like heaven, especially, you know, like with the music, which is highly dramatical, and it feels like, I don't know, like when you're listening to it, it feels like you're actually walking in a sort of musical of your own life. And there's this song that's called Brave Bulging Clairvoyance, which is just so amazing. And it's a song about, you know, seizing the day, and about being, making the most out of your life before, just like in the lyrics, before you turn to ghosts. And one fun fact, this album was actually recorded in Malmö entirely by Swedish producers, and some Swedish mixers as well, which is actually quite cool. Anyways, that's it for me. Thank you so much for watching this review. If you liked it, please give a like and subscribe. And as always, I'm going to put the artist links down below. Wild Beasts are available everywhere: iTunes, Spotify, and you can of course buy physical versions. I think there are vinyl versions as well, and you can get the debut album pretty cheaply if you want the physical version, for as cheap as £1 or something like that. And if you haven't listened to it, I recommend to you to listen to it. It's an album that's just amazing. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. As always, I'm going to review new albums every Wednesday and classic albums every Saturday. So yeah, keep your eyes peeled for all of those reviews. That's it for me. Enjoy music, enjoy life, people. Vi ses. Hej då!